record, so we're going to record this.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, you wanted me to record too, but you got it.
Yeah. All right, so where do y'all want to start? You just want to start at the beginning and work through the study guide, or?
Yes.
Anywhere? All right, let's start with that then. So, we'll just go through it, answer if you think you can answer. If not, I'll try to. And if you have questions, please ask them. I'll answer to the best of my ability. If not, Corbin and I will tag team it off. All right, so define microbiology, microorganisms, and microbes.
Study a small life.
Yeah.
Correct. What's a
Microbes
microorganism?
are microorganisms that microscope to see.
Yes. Yes. And what's a microbe? That's a microorganism. What's a microbe?
I have like prions, viruses, bacteria, parasites.
Yep. Like quote unquote pathogenic stuff. All right. So now on that note, relate the following in terms of size and complexity: average human cell, viron, bacterium, and prion.
Human cells are largest.
Yep. And the most complex.
And then I have fungi and parasites,
Mm-hmm.
bacteria, and then viruses and prions.
Yep. And why are they less complex? Viruses and prions, or prions. Okay, so prions are just proteins. They're just misfolded proteins. That's it. So most proteins in your body, when they're folded correctly, they're fine. They don't cause any problem. But as soon as they start causing problems, then they're a prion. And viruses are just proteins and DNA. DNA, RNA, genetic material of some kind.
No, they need to make sure your cell replicates them over.
Exactly. All right, so name types and describe characteristics of eukaryotic microbes, prokaryotic microbes, and subcellular. So the easiest one to do probably is eukaryotic. There should be two.
Fungi and parasites.
Yes.
And then I have most complex, largest in size.
Mhm. Perfect. And then prokaryotic.
One cell, black organelles, cellular membranes are living, small.
What's a good example of that in a microbe? Yep. And it can also be, if they're just unicellular, not necessarily prokaryotic. What else can they be? They can also be fungi and parasites.
Oh, okay.
So, a good example of just a unicellular parasite would be malaria.
So it can be.
It can be, yeah. So parasites and fungi can be multicellular and also unicellular. And then bacteria can only be single-celled. And then how about subcellular?
I have viruses and prions.
Yep.
Not living, not cells.
Yep, perfect.
And small.
And small. So,
Basically, already did 4.
rehash for it, state which microorganisms are single-celled and which can be multicellular. So that's again bacteria, parasites, fungi. Parasites, fungi can be single or multi-celled. Easy peasy. So now how to name microbes.
So first, the genus.
Yep.
Then the species.
Yes, correct.
And the genus is capitalized.
Yep.
And the species is
Yes. And when shortening it, how do you shorten it?
It's just the first
Yep.
letter of the genus.
Yep. And then species, does that remain intact or do you shorten that too? Woohoo! Alright, so just know that microbes can be both beneficial and harmful to humans. You gotta just know that. Unfortunately, there's no trick to that one. Define microbiome and microbiota. So we'll start with just what's a microbiome.
all microbes, their genetic elements, and environmental interactions that define environment.
Yeah, exactly. And what's a microbiota?
Microorganisms that reside on the surface and deep layers of the
Exactly.
Things that live in it.
Pretty much. So in layman's terms, give a simple definition. What's a microbiome?
Microbiome. What microorganisms live in it their entirety?
Yep. And then microbiota is
The organisms that live in the microbiome.
perfect. So just to rehash, microbiome is everything, and then microbiota is what lives in everything. Name the areas of the human body that are primary host sites for microbiota.
Skin, mouth,
Yep.
nose, gastrointestinal.
Yep, perfect. Why?
Because they're openings.
Yeah, and
Just to air.
they're exposed to air, and also what's a good, because Yeah, because gastrointestinal tract obviously isn't exposed to air, or it shouldn't be. If it is, that's a
Air.
different problem. There's air, but it's not like exposed. It's not like a hole. So like urogenital, skin, mouth, and nasal, those are all exposed to like the outer elements. Gastrointestinal, it's exposed to air, quote unquote, but it's also really just wet and moist and really just good for bacteria to live in.
Wet, warm, and moist.
And enough of that shit. So describe how we as a species and as individuals got a microbiome.
Vaginal birth, diet, environment.
So what you're exposed to, pretty much. What you
Fewer
eat.
babies don't have a good microbiome.
Yeah. Describe the similarity or difference between individual humans' microbiomes. How could they be similar? We'll start with similar.
I think it's a similarity. I guess I look at the difference.
Okay, so they can be similar based on like you can have a similar environment, you can have a similar diet, you can have a similar style of birth. A lot of those bacteria that reside in like a lot of the same foods we eat, those can be common.
Same.
The difference is basically the exact same thing as that. So again, what you eat, where you're born, how you're born, how
Where
long
you
you've
are.
lived there, where you are,
What you do.
what you do. Just a lot of the stuff that you're exposed to. Those can be similarities and they can be differences. Be able to identify the goals of the Human Microbiome Project.
I wonder if she talked about this.
She talked about it super briefly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even have the answer.
I don't really have the answer to that one. So it's
All I have was it's from the NIH, and it looked at which microbiota gathered in which places.
yeah. So
like I've seen studies on it
Yeah.
that basically say you can find out where someone was and how they were raised and what
Yeah.
they ate. If
Yeah.
they were vaginally born and stuff by their microbiome.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything that's like microbiome.